Hi and welcome to my channel. This is Martha with Bird and Barn Designs, and if you are new to my channel, I welcome you, and if you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I'm so happy that you're here. So in our last video, I showed you that I was making a envelope for a desk set out of a crunchy mailing envelope, and I had done the back side already, so that's the back side, just to revisit. And then we were working on this side in the video. So this would be the front. It's got a little pocket here with a little scrappy booklet that tucks in there. And we almost had it finished on the video, but then I added some little touches with some appliques, some more lace, this sweet little dangle, a little pretty ribbon bow there, some more applique, and a beautiful doily. So this is what that turned out like, and it's covered with fabric up here on the top to give it a little more stability, and it's got that wonderful crunchy sound. So the idea is to tuck in, say if you use these, let's see if I can pull one out here. I use these envelopes that I get at the Dollar Tree to put my current works in progress in, and those fit in there very nicely. So you can set that on your desk and it looks beautiful there. Or you can tuck in, your little fussy cuts or whatever it is that you're using, book pages and your scrap papers in there, so it's not all cluttered on your desk. So that was the first part of the project. So today I'm bringing you the rest of the collection for the desk set. So I made a collaged mat out of a Dollar Tree placemat, just an old plastic placemat I got at the Dollar Tree, and I collaged on here with Doreen's kits at Ooh La La Vintage Treasures, and everything you see here will be from Ooh La La. And I just use pieces of all kinds of the kits. So for instance, this piece here, that's from the La Parisienne fashion kit. These beautiful dress forms here are from the Biscotti Silk Couture kit. So there's just all different kits in there. I will link Doreen's shop, and I will link a few of the kits so you can go on there and see. So isn't that pretty? I thought that would look so pretty on my desk when I was working on a project. I talk all the time about how I have this ratty old used mat that I have on my desk, and it's so ugly. So this will now replace that. I thought that was so nice. And then because I might want to use it in my video and I might not always be working with neutrals, I thought it would be really fun to make it double-sided. So I made a pink side with the Ooh La La Treasures, Vintage Treasures kits. So let's see what we've got here. We've got a little bit here from the Pink Parfait Cafe kit. Some of these pearls here, I believe, are from the Divine Moments kit. So I will link some of those kits as well. But didn't that just turn out so pretty? I think it's so nice to have on your desk when you're working. And also, I think it gives you a little bit of inspiration. So I find collaging when I'm feeling stuck, I find just tearing up paper bits and gluing them down really inspires me. So that is the second part of the collection. So I think that looks so pretty on a desk. So I will move that over and we will look at the third part, which is this shabby, I'm kind of calling it a deconstructed journal because nothing is glued down. Nothing is in here permanently. So my little shabby chic flower that I make these out of organza. This came from a wedding dress, and you burn the edges, hold it over a little candle wick or a lighter, and just burn the edges and layer them. I did burn the layers of the lace, and the lace came from a wedding dress as well. And then I tea dyed these to give them a shabbier look. And I just kind of stockpile them. Here's a smaller one. I just kind of, when I'm making them, I make a couple and just have them on hand, and then I glue in the appropriate jewel in the center when I'm working on the project. So I choose whatever looks good with my project. So for instance, this one just has a little piece of a lace flower in there, and then I'll glue something on top of that. So this ruffle here, I've got the flower pinned onto the ruffle. Then the ruffle is 2 layers. It's a layer of satin, which is what's covering this journal, and then a layer of a tulle ruffle. And I just have that pinned. Let's see if we can see. I don't know if we can see in there very well. Here we go. I just have that pinned in there with a little pin, safety pin. There's one on the top and one on the bottom there. So that is pinned on. And then on the side, this is several pieces. This top really poofy piece here, that is how I tied the signature in, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. And then this little fluffy piece here has some dangles. Let's see if I can show you. These were a few of the strips from the kit, little ephemera pieces from the kit here that I'm using, and I just made those into the dangle. So there's a little bit of the kit on the outside as well. There's a little piece of a shabby ruffle out of a satin fabric, a couple layers of lace, and then in here there is a little jeweled charm. So look at how pretty that looks all layered together. And then this is just pinned. It's put together with a bulb pin, and then I just stuck it through this poofy layer here that's tying the signature in. So this can be removed, the signature can be untied, and then it leaves you with the satin cover. So here's this is what the front looks like without all the embellishments. I did a decorative stitch on my sewing machine, and then to close this, I didn't want a permanent fixture on there as well, so I just used a little clip, and I tied a piece of that wedding organza that I tea dyed, and it's real shabby. I just love it. And then I made a little dangle, and I just hooked that on there with a little removable pin. It's got pieces of lace. It's got some little dangles that I made out of the pearls. And then I took one of the ephemera pieces from the kit. Let's see. There's lots of little ephemera pieces. Let's see if I can pull that out of there in the kit. And I am using the Biscotti Silk Cafe kit for the journal part. So these were little bits and pieces, and I took my UV resin and I coated that, and I put it under my nail lamp, my UV nail lamp, and I made a little charm out of that. I think that is so cute. And I have to show off my little dish. Y'all, look at how sweet this is. This is a little dish my daughter got me. She was at a fiber festival, and she got me this dish, and look at what they did. They stamped, they had the clay, it's a little clay dish, and they put a piece of lace over it and pressed it in to get the lace design, and then they baked it. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. So thank you, Princess. I love my little gift. It will go on my desk when I'm doing videos. And I see I have got paint all over my hands. Excuse my paint hands. I've been crafting. So that's the little closure. I think it looks so sweet and so shabby. I just love the shabby look of it. And the little dangles and the little charm there. I think it's so fun. I just love it. So let's put that off to the side. And then on the front, I included, to bring some of the outside digitals, or the inside digitals to the outside, I made a little crunchy envelope out of tea stained vellum. So I just created a little envelope, and I love that crunchy sound. And it's got the beautiful tulle, the tea-dyed tulle, tea-dyed crinkled seam binding, tea-dyed lace. And that just will tuck in under the ruffle for extra storage and extra crunch. So I included in here some postcards from the kit. Aren't they beautiful? And I have stitched them, different stitches on each one, and these have all been tea-dyed as well. So on the cover here of the envelope, I just put some shabby little lace pieces on there. Left some of it open so you can see the beautiful tea dye. Put a little piece of shabby crinkled seam binding on there. And then if you choose not to use this under the ruffle, you can kind of fluff up that little bow, and it makes just a beautiful little embellishment. So I love that. I love how nothing is permanent, so you can mix and match and do with it as you will. So we'll put that off to the side a moment. And then if you choose not to have that on there, it still looks absolutely beautiful with the ruffle and the gorgeous, gorgeous satin. That's like a champagne colored satin. It's so lovely. And then you still got the bits of little visual interest here with the pieces from the kit. So let's look inside, shall we? So inside, I folded the, the cover is made out of a Amazon mailing envelope as well. So you're going to get a bit of that crunch and crinkle. So I folded it over to make a little flap for a tuck spot. And then I used one of the corner pocket ephemera pieces in the kit, and I made a little tuck spot here. So we have in there a beautiful one of the little tags, and I just did some sewing on there. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous ruffle tag. Those ruffles are so dreamy. And then a little stitching on that. And then I did some stickling on one of the ephemera pieces, a big heart, and I think that is so gorgeous. And then I left it plain on the back, so that could be used anyway. You could put it on a beautiful paper bag and make a beautiful gift bag out of it. You could use it as a journal topper on one of your pages of the journal. So many uses on that. And then for the inside of the cover, I used some beautiful shimmery wallpaper, and then I just trimmed all the edges in coffee dyed seam binding. So I think that looks beautiful. So we'll just tuck those back in. And I just love how you have so many options with this. And then here is the gorgeous signature I put in here. And this again is the Biscotti Silk Cafe kit from Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. And on this front page, I thought it was so lovely just as it is. So I just put a piece of coffee dyed lace on the side as a trim. And then we open it up, and I used one of the ephemera pieces, backed it with a piece of shabby lace. Hope you can, am I all in frame? Let's see, let's move over a little bit. And made a little tuck spot out of that. And every bit of these digitals have been tea dyed on the back. And how I do that is I print my digital first, and then I take one of the sponge brushes and I just dip it in the tea and I just brush it on and then let it dry. And then I press it under a stack of books. Sometimes I will dry it in the oven to get that super crunchy look, and then I will press it under a book as well. So that made a little tuck spot, and there's one of the sweet little cards in there I made into a little tag. So that just tucks in there. This page I left plain. I think it's beautiful the way it is, and I thought it looked so pretty against the tea dye. And then we flipped this over, and I made a couple belly bands. and stuck some little tags in there. Tags have been stitched, and I used a little coffee dyed lace on the top. And then for this one, I used that same trim on the other tag we just looked at, and I just stitched on that. I think that looks so beautiful. I love that. And the gorgeous roses. And then I just trimmed the little belly bands and pieces of cheesecloth that had been tea dyed, and then used some of the little floral ephemera pieces in the kit. And then I just tucked in some little tea dyed pieces here. That is a piece of parchment to get that gorgeous, gorgeous crunch. And this is a large index card. And then again, I didn't do much to this page. I just folded a piece of the lace from the other side over here on the edge around the doily here. And I think that looks so beautiful. And I love how these florals tie in with this floral. And this is a piece of the digital that I did dye or dry in the oven, so it is a little crinkly. And then I just did an up tuck over here, and I put a little shabby piece of a lace on there and made a little bow. And then on this side, I just brought some of the gold that I had on there. I brought it over to the back for a little visual interest. And then that just up tucks. And then another one of the little floral pieces that can be used for an embellishment somewhere. And I just made a little lace pocket on the bottom. And then this page was so beautiful, I didn't want to do much to that. Beautiful wood shabby doors. I think those are so gorgeous. And I just think it looks so pretty with a little touch of lace here, the little bit of beauty up there in the corner. I think that spread is so pretty. And then we'll flip, and another belly band. And I just tucked in a little piece of a coffee dyed journaling spot there. Little trimmed in some coffee dyed lace. And this is one of the beautiful coffee shop digitals from the kit. And I just put a little piece of a floral fabric on there that can be taken off. It's just stuck onto a paper clip, so that can be removed and used in a project down the line. And then on this side, under the clip, I just put a little shabby tag, little piece of seam binding there, and I just snipped a little piece of lace, and that's not attached, it's just attached with the seam binding there, so that can be removed and used. And then I did a little stitching on the tag. That's a little rose stitch, which I just love. So we'll just poke that back under there, and then the seam binding you can kind of see from the top. And then a beautiful piece of French book page. I just love the French book page, and look at the patina that aged page is. This is from the late 1800s, and I just think it's outstanding. So I didn't want to do much to this page again. It's so beautiful against this. This kind of ties in with this coloring over here, and I thought that was so lovely. I can imagine sitting on this beautiful tufted velvet couch and reading my French book page in the coffee shop. I think that's so fun. And then this page, just a little bit of lace on the top and bottom. I used one of the envelopes in the kit and just glued that down as a pocket. Included this beautiful shabby little card with the beautiful little cupcakes on the cupcake server there, the tray. And then again with the decorative stitching and a little piece of floral from the ephemera. And I think that just ties in pretty with the pearls there, there, and there. And then a gorgeous coffee colored doily. And then this is, listen to that. Oh, love it. That is a piece of coffee dyed vellum, and this is what I made that envelope out of that was on the front cover. Love that sound. and then a piece of the coffee dyed music paper. And I just left the shaggy edges. I love that shabbiness there. And then another one of the pages that I didn't embellish much because it's just so beautiful on its own. And then on this side, just a little piece of a organza ribbon that I tucked a shabby tag under. This lace flips up so you can have a little private journaling there. It's got the stitching there. And then some pretty sequin trim on the top of the lace. And those gorgeous flowers, I just love them. And that's just on there with a tiny paper clip. And then a piece of a ledger page that I had out of my stash. This was from the 1940s, I believe, so it's not terribly old, but I just love how it's starting to patina around the edges. You have a little bit of writing space there, should you wish. And then just a little trim on that page. So I wanted to leave plenty of writing spots in here. So that's why a lot of the pages are just as they are. And then this beautiful page, I washi taped in a time card onto just a tea-dyed page. I think that's so fun as a flip out. And then just little embellishments with some lace. And then this is the center of the signature. And I left this as it is because how gorgeous is that? I cannot think of another thing to do to that that would make it any prettier. I love this gorgeous rose on this side. There's one of Doreen's sweet little pens with the flower topper on there. And just so pretty. So I tied the signature in with 3 pieces. A piece of sari silk, a piece of coffee dyed, no, this is tea dyed tulle, and then a piece of vintage lace out of my stash. And I just gathered that all together to make a shabby little center, and then it's tied up here. I tied it into a bow. So this is a big shabby bow here where it all comes together and dangles down, and we've added that little dangle there. So look how pretty that looks from the top, y'all. I just love that. So soft, so feminine. I love this vintage lace. This is one of my favorite vintage laces. It is so soft, and I just think it looks so beautiful on there. And then we come to the second half of the signature. Oops, I lost a tag here. Where did that come from? Well, we'll find it in a minute. So there is that side. Then on this side, another one of the corner pockets. A couple of the postcards that I've just stitched on. Look at how beautiful that one is. Oh, they're so pretty. I just love them all. It's so hard to add things to them. That is the challenge with Doreen's kits, because they are so beautiful. She takes so much care into the layering and the positioning of everything and the colors and getting everything just right. It's so, so hard to want to cover it all up. I mean, look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. It's just so pretty on its own. So that's why it is on its own. So on this side, I took a little paper clip and tied a little piece of lace on the top. And I just did a little collaging here with some lace, a little piece of a music page that I had torn off to do something else with. And then this is a little piece of a vintage wedding dress that my dear friend Christina sent me. I just love that. And then I made a little dangle out of one of the floral ephemera pieces. It's been coffee dyed. I used a tiny little floral, it's like a tiny little doily, and I just cut out the center and I put that on there to reinforce. There's one on the front and one on the back. And then I used the same organza from the wedding dress that was on the bow on the front of the journal, on the closure. And then I just gathered up some pieces here This is some satin fabric that when you cut it very thin, it curls up. And if you could feel this texture, oh my goodness, you want to just sit there and play with it. It's so, so fun. And then I used some vintage lace that has been tea dyed and some coffee dyed seam binding. And then this is some little lace trim. And it just made the sweetest little dangle. And then I put a little heart down there, a little heart charm. And isn't that just sweet? I love it. I just love how that turned out. So that could be a sweet little journaling spot. It could be used on the cover of a journal. You could glue that down and make it a focal point. So lots of ways to use that. And then the tiny little paper clip holds it in. And just a little lace on the top so you can see that poking through. So I think that dangle with the pretty lace and this gorgeous piece of a wedding dress snippet, the music page, I love that page too. I just love it. And then we turn it over and I've left lots of writing spot here. This is the other half of that ledger page, so there's plenty of writing there. This one has a lot of writing on it. I thought that was so pretty. And then this page, I just put a piece of pretty lace and I left all the netting on there to make it a little pocket. Tucked a little journaling card in. I used the same lace that's on the side here. I used that down the side and brought it over and around. And I stitched the side with a little heart stitch. And then I didn't glue this all the way down so you can pull it up and have a little writing spot in there. And I think that's so fun. I love little unexpected things like that. And then I brought some of the lace on the front around here and just glued it down, but left this page relatively plain because it's beautiful on its own. And then the other half of the music page, that crunchy, crunchy, crunchy vellum page, the beautiful doily page. And on this one we have a little tuck spot here out of some beautiful shabby lace. I made a little card with some shabby lace trim. I just ruffleized down the side. I did some decorative stitching, you can see there, and I brought the lace around the back as well, so that looked pretty there. And then on one of the taller cards, did the stitching down the side. I love the Eiffel Tower. Put a little sweet little bow up there and some little peak of lace out the side. And then I brought the lace around the top and the beautiful decorative stitching there, so you have plenty of writing space. So that just tucks in there. And then this spread was beautiful on its own, so I left it. This page is so fragile, so I didn't want to do much to it. That can be pulled out and used in a project somewhere down the line and backed possibly. And then this page I just left open for writing and put a beautiful doily down here with one of the floral ephemera pieces from the kit. And then this pokes out the bottom, so you see that. I love that. And then this is another one of the beautiful coffee shop pages. And on this side, I put a piece of lace and brought it down so it dangles down the bottom. There's a little bit of a rhinestone trim down here. I'm hoping I'm all in frame. Let's see. Bring that up a little bit so you can see. And then I used some of the envelopes in the kit and I double-sided them. So I printed 2 of them and I glued them together and made a little pocket. And I just tucked in little pieces of lace that can be taken out and used in a future project. So this is a piece of a wedding dress trim, and I just tucked that in the back behind this beautiful snippet of lace here, this wide lace. So let's tuck that back in there. And again, the idea was to have everything removable so it can be used in other projects. So look how pretty that looks peeking out the top of there. And then in the little sweet envelope, I just love how that looks. It's so dainty and feminine. And then look at that beautiful wide lace there. And then it just tucks in there. So look how pretty. I love that. Just love it. And then we'll go over to this side. And we've got a couple of the cards. I used one of the belly bands in the kit. And then a couple of the coffee cards, since it's a coffee themed journal, and did a little stitching on them. And those can be used and embellished however the recipient would like. Let's see, get that in there. And then just edge that in lace. And then this side, one of the beautiful collage pages. The other half of those parchment paper and index card. And then I just used a couple of the little ephemera pieces to make a little offset belly band there. And then added some vintage lace here, some vintage lace here that I brought over and kind of ruffled up to make a sweet little pocket, and then it dangles down underneath. And then in the lace pocket, I put just a, upside down, I put a beautiful little card there that I had stitched, one of the tall tags. And then some more of the little coffee cups. Look at how beautiful those are. See what I was saying about Doreen, just layering all of the beautiful things and taking so much care into placement and coloring. That is just so gorgeous. I just love that. So those just tuck in here. And I did not glue this in the center. I left it. I just glued it on the corner here so you can tuck larger things in there. You weren't limited to just something small to tuck in there. But I think that page looks so pretty too. I love that. And then, oops, bring that in a little bit here. And then we'll go over to this page, and it's another side of that coffee. Oh, I turned too many. Yes, here we go. So that beautiful page. Then another lace page here. I used one of the belly bands as a topper and just brought this lace around the top. And then I have a couple tags. This is one of the tall tags that I stitched, and I used some lace cutouts, some bridal lace, and the decorative stitching on the back. I think that looks so pretty. The beautiful cakes there. And this one, I took two of the little square cards and I sewed them together to make a pocket. So you have your choice of either side. Beautiful floral cameo there, or the beautiful little coffee shop with the little coffee pot and cup and the beautiful little flowers. And then I made a little tag that I might have put in there. There we go. I was thinking I put it in there before I let this glue dry, but it came out. So I used a little floral piece there with some organza ribbon for a topper, and on the back it's coffee dyed and a little piece of polka dot sari silk and a giant pearl. I love that. Just tucked that in there. And that goes right in there. So you've got a layered look. You've got your pretty cakes and the pretty florals and all the dark colors there, I think, with the darker colored lace here. I think that's so pretty. And then we'll go to our last page, and that is another one of the beautiful coffee shop pages. And on this one, I had thought about doing a triple tuck spot there, but then I thought, no, we've got so many tuck spots and things going on. I thought I would just do a removable scrappy pad. So I took one of the postcards from the kit and I made a topper, and I fastened this together with a brad and put a piece of lace behind it. And then over the brad, I took one of the ephemera pieces and I just glued it on the top so this can be lifted and the brad can be opened. So when the scrappy pad is used up, you can replace the pages. So we've got that crunchy vellum on the top. This is a piece of a tea bag. And then just different bits of scrappy papers through here. Beautiful coffee dyed page there. And a journaling spot there. And this is a beautiful piece of wallpaper that the back can be written on. And some coffee dyed pages there. This is some packing paper. Beautiful coffee dyed music page. Some more coffee dyed page there. Oh, that is the index card. And then one of the time cards. And then I backed it with a piece of coffee dyed file folder to give it some stability. So that gives it a little stability there, so it's not so floppy. So this is what the back looks like with the beautiful wallpaper, the little tuck, and then the coffee dyed seam binding. So that just tucks up in there, and I think that's so beautiful. Now, where did my little tag go? I think that tag is so pretty. I don't know where it fell out of, but we'll see. Let's take another peek. So we have that one, that one, that one. I know I had it in there somewhere, or it wouldn't have fallen out, right? Where can we tuck that? Where did I have that? Maybe just tuck it in there. We could do that. Let's do that. I think that's pretty. So there you have it, y'all. There is my shabby chic desk set. I love how it turned out. I'm so excited about the deconstructed journal idea. Look how beautiful that little dangle looks on there, that beautiful organza on there. Oh, I got ahead of myself. Let's tuck the pocket back in there. The beautiful crunchy pocket. So I love how it's all removable. Everything can come off. It can be used in other projects. It can be refilled. If you use up this, whoever the recipient is, and I believe this may be spoken for already, if they do use this for journaling, they can refill the inside with another signature and use that again. And I put that on backwards. Okay, Martha, get it together here. I'm trying to catch a cold, y'all. I've avoided it. My whole family's been sick. My grandkids, my daughter's family, my husband had pneumonia. And somehow, by the grace of God only, that's all I can say, is I have avoided it. But now I feel like I'm getting nasally and my voice is kind of fading in and out. So, well, I did it again, didn't I? So I apologize, but there we go. So back to the pretties. So there we have it. So the beautiful organza bow, the beautiful dangle. I love that. Crunchy card, the removable flower and the ruffles, and then this little spot removes, and then look how beautiful that looks from the top. Look at how pretty with the poofiness. Oh, I didn't get that on there very good. Let's get that back together. Then there's the side with all the pretties on there. And then the bottom looks pretty with all the things poking out. So there we have it. We have our beautiful desk mat. I'm knocking my display all around. Our beautiful desk mat. Our beautiful deconstructed journal. And our beautiful folder storage spot. How about that? So look how pretty that looks all together. I just think it's so beautiful. I love this idea. I hope this inspires you to do some collaging and make some things of your own. These folders are absolutely wonderful for storage, and I can see myself making so many more of those. I love the idea of the mat. Now, if I was just using this for videos, I think I would have put some lace, little pretty lace touches and little appliques on there, but I had planned on using this as a mat just to work on. So this may go in my Etsy. I'm a little torn on that because I've only made one and I just want to make sure that it wears and tears well. So we'll see about that. So you may see this in the Etsy, and we'll see. If this is spoken for, then I will make another set and put it in there, but this is what it is. I just think it's absolutely so beautiful. I love it. I think it would look so pretty on a beautiful desk in a beautiful craft room, and I just love it. So I need to thank Doreen for making the most beautiful digitals that I have ever seen. Again, all kinds of kits in these two projects. This is mainly the Biscotti Silk Cafe kit. I will list her shops and several of the kits in the description. I thank you all for watching. I just so appreciate all of the comments. You all are so sweet, and it just makes my day. I welcome all the new viewers, and I hope you'll consider hitting subscribe and follow along with me on my crafty journey. And I just wish you all the most blessed of weeks or days or whenever it is you're watching this. And I just appreciate you all so much. So thank you for watching. Bye, y'all.